Hey there, I'm Kim Cooper, and today I'd like to share with you some tools I use when I would like to take my life from chaos to calm. Some of you may know that I have 3-year-old twins as well as an 11-year-old, and I'm an entrepreneur trying to run my business from home. And sometimes that can have me feeling a little bit crazy. So I wanted to share with you some of the tools I use when I'm feeling that way to help me calm down, calm my nervous system down, talk maybe just a little bit about mindfulness if you're not familiar with it. And I have all this coming out in an online course, but the course isn't ready yet, so I just wanted to share it with you now so that you have a general idea of what you can use if you have some craziness going on in your own life. So the first thing I want to share with you, we'll call it the TikTok. For those of you in the United States, if you're familiar with the TV show 60 Minutes, it's the same beat as the 60 minutes clock, the tick, 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 tick. It's 4 beats per second. And what we're gonna do, I'll back up a little bit so you can see me, is we're just gonna tap our hands to that beat, just like this. Okay, and I'll move back in so you can see me. What that does, I'll actually do it up here so you can see me. You can do it on your legs. You can do it on your desk. I did it one day on the steering wheel while I was driving, like this. What it does is it gives your brain something to focus on, and your brain loves a pattern. If you have repetitive thoughts going on, or you're lying in bed at night and you can't sleep, try this technique. You could even just do it on your pillow or on the side of the bed. And what it does is it gives your brain something to focus on other than those repetitive thoughts. And your brain won't think about 2 things at the same time. So while it's focusing on the pattern, however you're doing it, here, on your legs, wherever you're doing it, it'll focus on the pattern rather than the repetitive thought. Now, if you're an overthinker like I am, it's going to take your brain a little while to get trained to this method, so that you may notice while you're doing this that you don't have the repetitive thought, but as soon as you stop doing it, the repetitive thought comes back. So just like you train a puppy when you're trying to train a puppy to go outdoors to use the bathroom, you're training your brain. You're training your brain, pardon the phrase, not to crap all over the place, right? You're giving your brain something to focus on, and sometimes that takes a little while. So that one we'll call the TikTok, and again, it's just that 4 beats per second, however you want to do it. I was driving the one day, and for some reason, or no, I must have had things in my arms, and I couldn't even do the alternate hand thing, so I kind of was doing it with my tongue, like. Now, I don't think that's as good because it's not using both sides of your brain, but hey, if you need to, improvise. So that's the first thing I use. The next thing I use is there's all different kinds of breathing techniques that you can use. One I like to use, just because it's really easy to remember, is called square breathing. And you breathe in for the count of 4, you hold for the count of 4, you breathe out for the count of 4, and you hold for the count of 4. And if that's too long for you, then shorten it and do 3, 3, 3, 3. Some people get a little bit anxious when they're holding their breath, and a lot of us tend to hold our breath too often to begin with. So if you find that that's not working for you, try breathing in to the count of 4 and out to the count of 4. And another one you can do, and this is really ideally what you can work up to, is babies, they breathe in for a shorter amount of time than they breathe out. I can't remember what the exact breath pattern is for them. So another one that really works, but some people can't breathe out for the full count of 6, is to breathe in for the count of 4 and then breathe out for the count of 6. So play around with those, see which one works for you, if one feels better to you than the other one does. And really, again, you're kind of giving your brain something to focus on. You're giving your nervous system something to help relax it. You're really focusing on your breath, because like I said, oftentimes when we're not focused on our breath, sometimes we're even holding it. And a lot of times what I do with my kids, even if I don't have time to do that, if I feel like they're really agitating me or not listening, and I feel like I'm getting ready to lose it, I'll just say, hang on a second, mommy needs a minute, and I'll stop. And I'll just focus on my breathing. I may not even count. I'll just take a couple of deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, and that can really help me. And then the last thing I wanted to share with you today was a little bit about mindfulness. What is mindfulness? You may hear this term thrown around a lot lately. Mindfulness is really nothing than just paying attention to the present moment without judgment. Now, why is that important? Well, oftentimes a lot of our thoughts are focused on something that happened in the past that we can no longer control or that we can't change, or something that may happen in the future. And we're not focused on what is going on right in front of us. And that's important because a lot of times those thoughts of the past or future can lead to depression and anxiety because it's things that we can't control right now. So I'd like to try a little exercise with you. I invite you to close your eyes if you're somewhere that you can do that. And I just want you for right now to focus on your thoughts. Like, a mindful meditation is not about clearing the mind of no thoughts at all. You're always going to have thoughts coming through. And what I want you to do is, you notice that you're thinking during this minute or so, is just label those thoughts. Notice if the thought is about something that's happening right now, something that happened in the past, or something that you're thinking about in the future. So let's try that for right now, and we'll start there. So go ahead and close your eyes. You can take a couple of deep breaths if you'd like. And then again, just notice any thoughts that come up. Is it past, present, or future? Past, present, or future? Okay, so you can open your eyes and just notice, were those thoughts in the past, the present, or the future? If you were able to stay in the present, that's fantastic. That's the goal. If you noticed your thoughts going to the past or future, again, this is about not judging yourself, right? And we're looking for tools that can just help us. So some tools you can use to stay present are what I call anchors, okay? Let's say you want to sit, and a lot of people think they have to start out this mindful meditation thing, oh, I have to sit for 20 minutes or I have to sit for 10 minutes. You can do it for 1 minute. You can do it for 30 seconds. You can do it for 3 breaths, whatever, start where you are. So let's say you want to try it for a minute or 5 minutes. One of the things you can focus on is your breath. You can put your hand on your belly. Notice if you feel the breath coming in and out. You can notice the sensation of the air coming in and out of your nose as you breathe. For me, the breath was a hard one to get in touch with at the beginning because I never even breathed down into my belly. I was a total shallow breather and just breathed up here in my chest. So the breath work was a hard one for me to relate to. So I would use sounds in the room. I would close my eyes and just notice what I was hearing. Oh, I hear the heating is on now. I hear the birds outside. I hear the trash man. And that was enough to be able to keep me focused right here. Another one you can use is a body scan. You could just sit there and notice, work your way up or down your body and notice if you're holding any tension. Now I'm at my ankles. Now I'm at my knees. Now my legs. Now my hips. I have a little bit of pain in my hips and they're feeling a little tight. Now my stomach. My stomach's feeling a little bit uneasy, and just kind of work your way up. And again, it's not to judge what you're feeling or go into I have this pain in my knee and it's been there forever and I don't know what I'm going to do about it. But it's just a way to keep you in the present moment. So try one of those tools the next time and see if that helps serve as an anchor to keep you present if you have a hard time with your mind wandering. And again, your brain is a muscle. We're just working that muscle, and it may take a little while to get you to the point. And even now, after 7 years of practicing mindfulness, some days I have a great practice where I sit for 5 or 10 minutes and I hardly have any thoughts that go through. And sometimes I can't sit for a minute without thinking about something else. So again, it's just about not judging yourself. But those are some tools that I use to help me stay calm when things seem to be getting really crazy. You can use them with your kids. You can use them at work. There's so many opportunities for us to practice things like that. And I hope they've been really helpful for you. If you'd like to learn more or keep in contact with me, you can find me on my website, which is beingkimcooper.com. And I look forward to connecting with you and playing together. Have a great day.